My,
Having
okay, my name is Mokuolu.
So we are here to ask you some questions based on the academic aspect, social aspect, and so on. So first of all, I want you to. It's based on motivation question. First of all, I will ask you, what can you see? What is your contribution on the numerous activities like timetable? Because sometimes sometimes students have timetable scheduled from 7 to 7, and some complain that that's the reason why they are falling back academically and so on. So, how can you motivate them on that to read more based on their timing and on the timetable?
Okay, thank you very much. You see, the student timetable for this week show is very simple. I agree with you that the stress is much because of timetable. But at the same time, students who attend this school should see it as a mountain which they must surpass. As in a mountain which they must overcome, because it's one of the challenges of education, of academic excellence. Too long a timetable from 7 to 6. They should see it as a challenge which they must by all means overcome. Because you see, if they allow this issue of timetable to affect them or to demoralize them, then they are going to leave the school with a poor result. And if they leave the school with a poor result, it means that their future may not be so good. Because if you look at Nigeria of these days now, everything depends on your certificate. Everything is your certificate. If your certificate is poor, the tendency that you have a good job is not there. So my advice is that they should develop a strong heart and see it as a mountain which they must overcome, a challenge in which they must overcome. Because between success and failure, there is always a boundary, and the boundary is the difficulty which they must overcome.
Thank you very much. Now, second question is about financial aspect. Some students give some excuses about I'm having financial breakdown, that's why I cannot buy textbook. So I go into institution. Me personally, I don't like that. But what can you say? How to motivate students? Concerning making financial, building their financial self to be able to buy textbooks. In this school now, if you don't buy textbooks, you can't really make it. Except to go to the library, and the library cannot supply everything. So some people can understand what the lecturer is saying, and some people understand through reading. So what can you see? Some people have financial constraints. What can you see about that?
Well, the issue of financial constraint is a peculiarity of any student. There is no student that will have sufficient, but there are some students that are extremely very poor when it comes to financial aspect. But they should look for a way to increase their income. Suppose they need 5,000 this week, and their parents were able to afford just 1,500. They can look for extra lessons, look for extra business. I think I have a student of mine who lost his father at least at 100 level. He has to do extra lessons elsewhere. I have to give that person my students and my children, and I pay him for that. And there are some other lessons which I also help him to get. There are some who come into the school and do some business. I know of Ada. Ada is doing snacks business, which I also buy. I buy 100 naira meat pie from her. She brings to school and she makes money from it. If you need to bake a cake now, she can bake it for you and she collects money. It's an extra income for herself. At least during the holiday, she was within my area there. She learned catering, and now she's making money with it. Students should look for avenues to make money instead of going into prostration.
That's a very good contribution. Now, thirdly, I want to also ask about rate of maternity in this progressive is very rampant.
Yeah.
It's very rampant. When now the last time we went for strike, some students they came back as in especially the ladies. So I want to, what can you see about that? Why is it rampant among us here?
Thank you.
How can you motivate students to cope that attitude?
Now, the first cause of such issue of pregnancy within school is seriousness on the part of the student. Number one, another thing is that maybe such student does not have good academic background, as in from their parents. She is that because the desire of anybody within this age of 18 and 25 is to be well educated, so that in future he will have a quality certificate to work with and raise his own kids. But they rush into marriage. I think it's poverty. Poverty from home, mental poverty, financial, everything coupled together. Such a student, the future may not be so good. At least 50% of them, the future may not be so good. And they are playing with their future. I think for those who are not falling into that, they should see themselves as a star, a future star, a success, and they should take care of it now. They should avoid anything that will destroy their future. If any lady gets pregnant now, it's going to have a tremendous effect on her future. Let me give you an example of my wife. My wife was unable to go for her master's because of children. So you see, once a lady starts having a child of children, it's so difficult. It's so difficult, except that lady has a very strong financial backing. So my advice for them is to be more determined, more serious, more focused, and have a vision. They must have a vision for their life. That's all.
Thank you very much. Now, we're going to aspect of politics. Sir, politics on campus. Is it a business enterprise, or what do you think students, what are the aims of students going into politics? Because now, like my own set, I'm so early. I see that everywhere I get, they are posters. Even some people don't know why they are rushing to politics. They are just going there. Posters here and there. From I want to go for this one. So, what are your views or aspects? Is it a business? Because I see it as a business enterprise on campus.
Well, really, school politics should not be a business. It's an avenue to showcase your leadership quality. In fact, school politics should be an avenue to showcase a leadership quality, your ability. I remember when I was in school, I was the president of physics as well. But you see, in those days, before you can come into politics, you must have a very strong GP, at least 3 points above. So that, you see, because the activities of politics can affect your education. If somebody who is not so good with it goes into politics, that person is going to be affected by that politics. So my view of it is that students should see it more as an avenue to showcase their leadership qualities and lay down a good name and foundation for themselves. And as well, never forget the academics. Because no matter who you are in school politics, it doesn't give you a guarantee of a good result or a good career.
I will take it from my next question from where you ended it. You said it does not give them a good career. No.
No, I said it doesn't guarantee them
a good result.
A good result and a good career.
Now, why do people who intend to go for politics, now like the FG government, president, and so on, when they want to go into politics, they have like 3.5, 4 points. That's the one I just tried. Why that when they are going out, or when they are stepping down, why is it that their GP 4? That's what I noticed in this case. When they want to go in, they have higher GP. And when they are going down or stepping down, their GP becomes low. Why?
Thank you. You see, the school politics is meant for somebody who has focus, who knows what he is doing. Is able to program himself, time for study, time for politics. For most of them, because of fame, I think some of them look for fame. That's why they go into school politics extremely. Now, they spend all their days, all their time in the SUG office there, speaking, they do not create time for their study. I know because they do not create time for their study. You see, studying is an attitude. If you leave it will leave you. So, they have very little time to prepare for exams. And as a result, if you have very little time to prepare for exam, what is going to happen? Failure is going to set in. Now, if such a student is still able to cope, it is because he has mental capability. Which is, if you have a mental capability, you must develop it. You must build it. If you are a good footballer, you must train to be the best, isn't it? If you are a sprinter, you must train to be the best. Abi? So everything, even if you have mental capability, you must study. Study is training of the brain for you to do well in exam.
Thank you. So, my next question is, what can you say about students who put in for a particular course and they're given another course instead and they don't perform well in that course? Like now, in the aspect of someone that aspire or wants to study physics and was given mathematics and could not perform very well, given excuses that because I was given physics, I like behind the physics. So how can you motivate them? How can you give them a motivating statement so that they can perform better in that course they were given?
I think they should see themselves as a champion. A champion that cannot be stopped by anything. Whatever is trying to cause a setback for you is a challenge in which a champion must try to overcome. Always in life there is always a challenge. Whenever you are going in for something, let's say you want to come in for physics now and they didn't give you physics, they give you math. Okay, so with your math you're having one or two problems. It doesn't mean that you cannot win it. Okay, this is what you don't know. You build your mind to overcome the challenge. I think they should see themselves more as a champion. See themselves more as a warrior. Who must win at all costs? If you think you must win at all costs, then you have to practice and train at all costs. If you think you must pass and pass well, it means that you have to study morning, afternoon, night. When others are playing, you are studying. When others are eating, you are studying. When they are sleeping, you are studying. You will see the performance of such a person. It will be different from somebody who doesn't study as much. The better you study, the better your performance. They should see themselves more as a champion so that they can win.
Thank you. Now, everybody is genius.
No, everybody is not a genius.
So,
but everybody is talented.
How can you improve the talent?
Okay. Now, first of all, you need to discover your talent. Now, for example, let me give you an example of myself. When I was in school, I liked maths a lot. So, I'm a very good science student. I don't have problem with sciences but I hate biology. It's not as if I don't like it, but I hate it because you have to read long. I don't like agriculture because you have to read a lot of things. You read, but you see, because I can cram, I'm a very good crammer. I can read a note, cram a whole note, and pour it down. It is going on well, so I don't have much problem. But the calculation aspect, because in calculation, I just have to cram the formula, use the formula to calculate. So that's why I'm going for physics. So you first of all need to realize where you are good. Then you develop yourself towards it.
Thank you. Yeah, true that. Now, on the aspect of registered club, that's social aspect. Now, there are some registered clubs. There are some clubs that they ask us not to join in school. FC to be precise. Now, this registered club like Red Cross, Royal, I don't know, Electric Club, all these clubs. Now, how do they add to our academic aspect? Because after in school and after school, although I'm not part of those clubs, but some people says is motivating and it has its own academic aspect. So what can you see about that? How does it add to our own drive as students in school and after school?
For me, I think it's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. The club is supposed to be for social and for pleasure. When you come into the school, I think the issue is no pleasure. There is a saying which people always say, there is no play in Moscow. You do what? You walk. You go to England, Moscow, Europe, and you think you want to do something, you walk. There is no play. If you play there, you are gone. Your life is gone. See, when a student comes into this school or any school and he says, I want to go and join, it's on seriousness. Total unseriousness. Is not every student. Go and check. 70% of those students will not have a good result, except 2-3 of them that are genius, absolutely talented, genius. For genius don't have to read everything because they have a very sharp brain. You know, not everybody has a sharp brain. Those who don't have a sharp brain now go and join play. What will happen to them? Time they should have spent studying. For a genius can study once. But somebody who is not a genius needs to study three times to be able to meet up with a what? A genius. So what is such a person doing in club? This is no time. Any student in this school for now, their slang should be no play in most school. They should come for serious business and come out with a good result. Good result that they can use for direct entry. If you go outside, you see many of our students, they are graduated from this to 5-6 years. They will tell you, I'm looking for admission. I did not see the admission. You ask them is their result. Their result is not good enough to go in for direct entry. So they will now join the Jambites again. And one of the things that contributed to it is this club and politics. It's total unseriousness. I don't fancy it. So my advice is that students should take up their logo. Take up this logo which I am saying, no play in Moscow. They have come here, they are here to come and work, and they should see, they are to defeat all the causes. They should see the causes they are doing as a war, and defeat by all means. Of course, they have everything to defeat it. They have everything to defeat it. The ball is in their court. So that's my advice.
Thank you very much. That's important.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm grateful. I hope this will go a long way to help the students. And in addition to that, it's a very good program you are doing anyway. But you should find I saw in one of tutorials on all courses, isn't it? Okay. I hope fast questions on all courses. It's a very good thing. It's a very good thing. In addition to that, I think you should also find a way to solve those questions and put it on net. Past questions and solutions to, it will help students. And again, publicize it. Especially in physics, so that we can have reduced failure. Do you know, surprisingly, even if you give the questions and the solution, some will still fail. Yeah. Why? Good. And so you will meet those failures doing unnecessary things. Something they are not supposed to do in school, that's what they are doing. Some will spend their days in fellowship. And they are abusing that fellowship as if it is a fellowship that is the cause. But they themselves, they are the cause. So that's my advice for you. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
Very good. To be placed on the internet, sir.